Hey everybody, welcome back to Your Future Home, brought to you by Rocket Mortgage by Quicken Loans. Apply simply, understand fully, and most importantly, mortgage confidently.
That's right. When you finally find your dream home, it's likely that you aren't the only buyer who wants the same place. Bidding wars are common, especially in competitive markets where inventory is low. Joining us now with some tips on how to come out on top in these bidding wars, Brian Lewis, real estate agent over at Compass. Brian, it's great to have you.
Hey guys, thanks for having me today.
All right.
And that's where you want to be. You want to come out on top.
Of course.
Well, we need to find out how we can.
You
Right.
got it. You want to know the big secret?
Yeah, the biggest, most
the
important.
biggest secret, and I'm a broker that likes to craft bidding wars. I like to price right under the radar for my sellers so they get a lot of attention. So let me tell you a little tips here. So first of all, whenever I get multiple bids on a place, I must tell you, the bids that are buyers working with brokers, they tend to be better. So my note to the buyers out there, here's a secret. They always think that they're going to be sexier without a broker. I'm going to be a cheaper commission for the seller. I'm going to appeal to the seller's greed. Often there's a little bit of truth in that, but it's never half. So which camera are we on? Never half. It's usually 1 point off.
1
Now,
point off?
1 point usually if you're not working with a broker. So if you're a direct buyer. So work with a broker, and here's why. The broker is going to help you craft the very best deal possible. It's not only in New York about the number, it's about your income, your debt, all of these things. And if you're buying a co-op, it's about your social letters.
Right.
And
Yes.
all of these things are so important. So I find that the offers that my sellers seem to get from buyers with brokers are way more refined, way more qualified, way more smart. And don't forget, if you're buying a co-op, your offer is literally the audition for the board package.
Right.
Which in New York is a religion.
Right,
It's
exactly.
a whole thing.
You got to get the blessing from the board.
You have to.
And here in New York City, obviously, it's a different real estate world than it is in
Than
the
it
rest
is
of
anywhere
the
else, because we got to be different.
Right, that's very true. We got to put our mark on something. Is
Yes.
it all about the money? I mean, you mentioned, yes, the letters and the board and everything else, but is it really all about the money, or are there other variables that you can use to your advantage on all of this?
Well, whenever I'm working with a buyer, and it's competitive, and in certain price points, it's very competitive.
Sure.
You can see a lot of competition. I always say, write a love letter to that seller. Write a love letter. Tell them what you love about their home. Tell them about the life they've created there and how you resonate with that. But also, yes, the best number always gets a lot of attention. The best qualifications get a lot of attention. But find out what that seller's needs are. Do they need to stay in-house after closing for a few months? I've done a deal where they stayed in place for 9 months.
Wow.
And the buyer was able to give them that flexibility. So if you can find out, usually through your broker, what the priorities of the seller are, and you can check off all of those needs, you're going to go to the front of the line.
Yeah.
And
so
that-
do your research
Do your
on
research.
the person who's selling.
And usually it's with a buyer's broker that's going to help you get to the front.
Right, but in this love letter process, right?
yes.
How much research then does the seller do on the buyer too? Does your social media profile?
Oh, absolutely.
What are the other things that maybe you haven't been keeping track of all these years might work against
That party in college,
Yeah,
or you're like
exactly.
doing
I always worry about
shots.
my
Right,
Exactly.
yeah.
You want to just like, there's got to be a business where your social history is erased.
100%.
But you know what? I think people are becoming more understanding of all of that.
Right.
But people all look online. Everyone Googles. Everyone searches. And board members do the same. So it's all out there. All the more reason to work with a qualified, awesome broker who's going to help you navigate all that.
Okay,
That's important.
But piggybacking off of
Yeah.
that, what are the best ways for us to stand out as a buyer? Is it just having a clean, squeaky clean social media presence? Is
Or
it
a big
having
one,
or a big
yeah.
one?
Nobody
Or
wants
what?
it too squeaky
Yes.
clean. It's New York.
Yes,
Come on.
yes.
But what I can say is this. You want to be the most qualified, the most prepared. I mean, we live in a city of type A qualified, moneyed people. So you have to stand out for all the right reasons. And you know, money stands out, qualifications stand out, really good social letters, if necessary, stand out. Understanding the seller and what their needs are. Google the seller, find out where they went to school. You might have both gone to the same university or something like that. Find common ground. This is a human experience. And you want to stand out, your humanity needs to stand out. Who you are, personify it.
Yeah, but don't go to their house or like,
Oh my gosh.
you know,
No,
send
no.
gift baskets.
No,
what are
well,
those mistakes? Like, what are,
Don't go over.
what's
I've heard
the,
it.
what's
Don't
the
go-
edge? What's the edge?
You know what? Just when you say don't do all that, you'll hear the
That was
one story
rethinking.
I know.
where somebody sent a Manhattan Fruitier basket, free plug, to the seller, and they got it. But you know what? I'm not endorsing any of that. be qualified, be human, be present, be easy, be drama-free, and come prepared. Because that is always going to be sexy, in style, and that's always going to move to the front of the line.
In terms of selling a house, it's always I always love the psychology about how you sell a house. For instance, if you're wanting to attract somebody that's got $1 million limit, put the house at $999,000. But is there a similar phenomenon essentially when it comes to making an offer as a buyer?
Well, you do your comps, right? And that's where your broker is going to come in handy, because everyone says I can do it all online myself, but you guys don't have the context we have. Someone comes to me and says, hey, look, I'm looking at these comps. These are 3 apartments that I think comp to this. And I'll say, yes, but did you know that looked at a brick wall? Did you know they have a huge assessment coming? We have the insider track. We're in these buildings every day. So know where it really should be. If it's 999 and you know in your heart of hearts that could probably get 1-1 all day long, go there. I just crafted probably the biggest bidding war in New York City in the past year. You know what it was?
Yeah.
What?
Greta Garbo's place. Very dead movie star.
Right.
Awesome place. Her
Right.
family asked me to work with another team, and we sold it together. We put it on at $595, $5,950,000. Multiple bids in 3 weeks. We just closed a couple weeks ago. $8,500,000.
Good job.
But where was the seller wanting it to be?
The seller said, I think I think where we live in this property, and it was pretty exceptional, is in that sweet spot of $7 million. And I was the broker that came in with the lowest number, because I said, to create a bidding war, we can't just rely on your very awesome, iconic aunt's history and legacy. That's going to be part of it, but I can't promise you your buyer is going to care about that.
But it just
so you always go slightly under, and that works.
And just really quickly, why wouldn't you want to do the reverse and go really high?
I feel that if I had started that property at $9 million, we'd still be on the market today.
Ah, interesting. So you're saying most properties that are still in the market, they are overly high. You need to start them way lower.
I can't speak for every property, but I can speak for my sellers' properties. If you're lingering on the market, and it's on my website, the price was not my idea. It wasn't my idea. Here's my last thing. Everybody goes to the club with the rope line, right?
Yeah.
A seller's agent wants to create a rope line for the seller, because everybody wants to have more choices. And so it's important to know that if it's priced right, it's going to draw a lot of interest. You've got to go into every property thinking, what am I going to do in a competitive situation?
Absolutely.
Because until you're in contract, you got
Really
it.
fascinating
Brian, we'll
stuff,
have you back. Absolutely. Brian
thank you very
Lewis,
much.
real estate agent over
thank
at
you.
Compass.
Thank you.
Great to have him here.